What's up, Titan fans? How we doing? ESPN just released their Week 6 power rankings. So let's do a quick breakdown of them, see where each team in the division lies, some other teams that may interest us, and especially the Tennessee Titans. We got to see where they have us ranked, and it probably won't take long because we're near the bottom. We only won one game this year, and we just came off a bye week, so we probably haven't moved that much. Right here in last place, 30 seconds. I'm talking the New England Patriots, 1-4, looking tough over there. But we'll just skip on by them. Same thing with the Panthers. All these bottom teams, a lot of them can be interchangeable, right? It could be the Panthers last, it could be the Patriots. We're all interchangeable with one another, but they are 1-4 as well. They don't know what's going on with QB there. They benched Bryce Young. They now have Andy Dalton, and it looks like they're sticking with Andy Dalton. They came out and let Young play during the game when things started looking rough for the team because they were trying to save Andy Dalton, which is wild. Bryce Young is your future. Andy Dalton, he's old. You're like, what's he going to give you? Yeah, he got you one win, but is it going to be much more? And that's the situation I don't want the Titans in. I don't want the Titans to be in a Panthers situation. You got to ride or die with these young guys. You cannot just bring the veteran in. That might get you one or two more wins like Mason Rudolph may be able to do. No, we have to stick with Levis just like they should have stuck with Young and just let it ride out. See what you got. They spent the first round pick on him. We spent the second round on Levis. Just ride with these guys. See what they have. Let the veterans come in, back them up if need be. But that's where they're at, 31. Next, we got the Cleveland Browns. They're in another quarterback fiasco, right? They don't know what they're doing with their QB because they overpaid Watson. They got all this guaranteed money. This man's just walking off the field. And, the coaches can't say nothing to him. It's fourth down. They're trying to go for it. Watson's like, nah, I'm good, player. Get me off the field. So, they probably need to bring Winston in. They might just have to bite the bullet with Watson because obviously he is not the guy. Jacksonville Jaguars, old Sunshine, isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing. They are 1-4. Everyone thought they were gonna come out hot, but I guess not. They are more of not than hot. So 1-4 at 29. Next, you finally have us, the Tennessee Titans. We didn't even play last week, and we still went up in the rankings. Look, we jumped up to 29. And look, here's what they're saying. The fantasy surprise, Will Levis. We're going to read it real quick, word for word. They said, it seemed like Levis would make a big jump this season given the new coach Brian Callahan's previous success with quarterbacks and his offensive scheme, right? He was with Burrow before. Adding free agents like Ridley and Boyd also made Levis' breakout season more likely, right? We stacked him with weapons. Boyd, Ridley. We ended up getting Pollard. We got Spears over there. We didn't really do much with the tight ends. They're basically the same. I don't know if you really want to count Bennett, but he's more of a blocker. Then offensive line, we brought in some new pieces. We got Quisenberry, and then we ended up getting Latham on the left tackle. But it says, unfortunately, the promise outlook has taken a turn for the worse. With just 4 games, Levis has passed for only 604 yards, 4 touchdowns passes, and averaged only 7 fantasy points, which, who cares about fantasy points? We want them dubs, right? He leads the NFL in turnovers, which is 9, and is tied for the most interceptions, what's his 6. And this is wild because we just had a bye week. We are 1 game ahead. We had the first eligible bye week of the season. So we are 1 game ahead of most teams in the league, and he is still he leads with turnovers 9, and he's tied in interceptions with 6. That is insane. That's one thing that he has to fix and correct if we're gonna turn this team around, get past this 1-3 record. Because if you think about it, we're only a couple games behind some of these teams in our division. We're right there in the mix still. If we can just get on a little hot streak, we can easily turn this season around. But it all depends on Will Levis and how smart he's going to play this game, right? Next, the Rams. That's a big surprise. 1-4. No one thought coming into the season the Rams would be 1-4 with Matthew Stafford and everybody. They got Cooper Kupp. I know he's injured, and Puka Nacua. Right? They speak about it right here. So they everyone's just surprised. Vegas. Same thing with them. They're having trouble in paradise down there too, right? Everyone thought maybe not. They got Devontae Adams and everyone, but now he wants out of town. So who knows? There's all these rumors that he might try to go to New York or whatever, but even New York's having issues, which we'll get to in a second because they just fired their coach today. Next, New York Giants, 2-3. They got Malik Neighbors, but overall they got Daniel Jones at QB. No one believes in that man. He's not that good. I know some people show video of him dropping dimes and stuff, and they're saying it's the receiver's fault for these drops. He is putting it where it's supposed to be. But all in all, not a good team, but they're still ahead of us. They're still they won twice as many games. The Bengals, 1-4, big surprise. Joey Burrow, he is lighting it up this year. You look at his stats look outstanding. Let's see if it even talks about it in here. No, they just talk about Brown. But Joe Burrow is doing good. His stats are good. They're just losing games. They're 1-4. Dolphins 2-3. Now this would be completely different if they had Tua in here. I think a lot of these losses come down to Tua being out, right? When we played them, it was nothing like it would be if Tua was in there. They were running the ball a lot. They were trying to deke and dunk. I mean, their QB scrambled a bit, Huntley, but he was only on the team for like a week. They had penalties after penalties. Tyreek Hill got locked down by Snead. But I know he didn't have his quarterback throwing to him. He's been struggling ever since Tua went down. Next, we got the Colts, 2-3. They're only one game ahead of us. We're one game behind. So it's not like they're that far ahead. I mean, we play them this week, and they're second in the division. So if we can beat the Colts, right? We beat the Colts, we'll both be 2-3, but we'll have the lead over them because we'll have the win over them. So that could put us second in the division, which is wild to think about. But yes, we could be second in the division after this weekend if we can go beat the Colts. And yes, Anthony Richardson's hurt, right? They're playing Joe Flacco. Now, Joe Flacco, I know he's been playing good, but we have a chance. We can beat the Colts. It can happen. But, we'll see how these NFL analysts predict it in their predictions because they have been on point accurate all season long. I do not want to vote against them. When these results come out, I think they come out tomorrow or the next day, you'll see the predictions by the NFL analysts, and they are on point. These guys, they do their homework, I'm telling you. Next, we're talking about the Jets. That's who we were talking about earlier, too. They're 2-3. There's turmoil there. Aaron Rodgers, he's didn't look like he was meshing with the coach. They had some disagreements, and then the coach ended up getting fired. So now that they don't have a head coach, we'll see who's going to fill that role. If it's going to be one of the assistant coaches stepping in, I'm not sure yet. But they are 2-3, even with Aaron Rodgers. They have the same record as they did at this point in time last year when they had Wilson in. So, it's the same old Jets. Nothing's changed. It reminds me of the Titans. No matter who you have back there at QB, it's the same old Jets. It's like it's the same old Titans, right? Next, you got the Cardinals, 2-3. And guess what? Call of Duty's coming out soon. They're only going to get worse as the season progresses because Call of Duty, their quarterback, Kyler Murray, gets worse every year when this game comes out. And it will continue to happen because this man is a gamer. He loves the game. He streams his gaming, and he prefers that over football. I mean, he gets paid millions for football, but he has fun playing video games. So, they're only going to get worse. The Broncos, 3-2. Yes, you see the coach, Sean Payton, and you see their Bo Nix, they're arguing or whatever on the sideline, but then they come out in the post game, and Bo Nix, they asked him what he said. He said, I love you, and I said, I love you too. That's basically what they're doing on the sideline. They're going to have their grievances like that. It's going to be handled. They look like they're doing fine. They're ranked number 19 now, coming up from 22. So they're good. We'll see. Maybe they'll continue. Maybe they won't. But so far, they're okay. They're in an okay boat right now. The Chargers, 2-2. Surprise, Justin Herbert. But when you have Herbert on your team, you can always turn the season around. You always have a chance to win. He's one of them QBs. The Bears, 3-2. What a surprise and what a shocker because Caleb Williams has not played good. He hasn't looked good all season. I think last week he might have looked better than he normally has. But they are 3-2. They have a winning record. They ended up beating us. And sometimes all you need is a defense. Defense wins championships, right? It's the same old Bears. So if they have a good enough defense, they could possibly make it all the way to the playoffs. Who knows? But they are in a division with the Vikings, who are dominating things right now. Next, we're talking about the New Orleans Saints. What a surprise. They started 2-0. They were blowing teams up like by 40 points. It was wild. They beat the Panthers by 40 points, which, hey, everyone's like, okay, it's the Panthers. But then the next week they came out and beat the Cowboys by 40 points, which everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's the Cowboys. After that, 3 straight losses. But they're still ranked 16. Even with 3 straight losses, they're at ranked 16. They're slowly dropping in the rankings. They went from 14 to 16. They dropped a couple, but you know what? If we win and they just keep losing, they're on 4 straight. If they lose this week, that'd be 4 straight. And if we win, we would have to hop them. There's no way they can stay 16. That's pretty high, especially for a team with 3 straight losses. Next is the Steelers. Them Steel Boys. They are 3-2. They have Mike Tomlin, so they're going to do pretty well. And, what's his face? Justin Fields probably resurrected his career there. They're looking good. 3-2. They'll probably keep doing their thing. No faith, no issue with them. Next is the Falcons, 3-2. Hey, Kirk Cousins, he has brought Atlanta alive. I'm not sure if you saw the videos, but that whole city is hype. After that comeback they did the other day, they are ready to go and they are 100% behind Kirk. I know coming into the season, some people might have been like, "Hey, Michael Penix, we want him. He should start. Why are we starting Kirk Cousins?" Look, you paid Kirk Cousins for a reason. He got all this money and he is showing it and he is bringing it. These guys are 3-2 and he's bringing life to this city that was lifeless last year under Mariota. After that, we're talking the San Francisco 49ers, 3-2. They're high up here for being 3-2, but you know what? Sometimes popularity gets you a high ranking. They are 3-2, and yes, I guess because of their coach, I guess because of their quarterback and their defense. Even though McCaffrey's out, they're still ranked up here high at 2-3. But you never know; they can always turn their season around, because that's what they do. Some teams can do that. Some teams, if you're down, you can always turn things around. Some teams, when they're down, they're just going to stay down. And that's just those bottom teams down there. Seahawks, 3-2. That's pretty good. 3-2 with Geno Smith. So, hey, I'm just going to let them just ride on. Philadelphia, 2-2. Jalen Hurts over there dominating once again. 2-2 is not the best record, but hey, they're in a tough division. They'll turn things around. The Eagles are always going to be on top. I'm not worried about the Eagles at all. Next is the Cowboys, 3-2. They did start out rough, right? They got dominated by the Saints, but obviously they're 3-2, and they are now ranked number 10 in the country. After that, we got the Packers, 3-2. Packers, obviously, they beat us. And they did all this. I'm just gonna give them props. They're 3-2, and that's with their starting quarterback being out. They came in with Malik Willis, had a plan. They beat us. They beat other teams. They deserve to be where they are. They're doing this with a backup, even though Love's back now. Next, the Bucks, 3-2. They started out hot. They're slowly fizzing out, right? They were ranked number 5 last week, now down to number 8. They are 3-2. Baker needs to turn things around, but if anyone can do it, it is Baker. He has that passion. He has that dog in him. He's going to fight for it. The Commanders, big surprise. Daniels at QB. No one expected a rookie to come out this hot. He's looking like Stroud did last year. So if Jaden Daniels can keep doing what he's doing, he can definitely advance them to the playoffs. Heck, they're 4-1. You just got to stay with this momentum and just not fold mid-season or late in the season. The Bills, 3-2. They're another one of them teams that's always going to be at the top. Even if they have a horrible record, they'll even be at the top because they can lose this week and they'll still be a top 10 team at 3-3 just because they have Joe Allen and people believe in Joe Allen and that receiving core. The Ravens, 3-2. They almost lost last week, right? They were almost 2-3. But hey, they came out. Derrick Henry came in. We love Derrick Henry, but we hate the Ravens on this channel. But Derrick Henry did come into overtime and get that game-winning touchdown for like 50 yards. So, hey, kudos to Derrick Henry. Glad he's doing well. It sucks it led to a Ravens victory, but glad Derrick Henry has turned his season around because he did start off slow, but he is doing pretty good now. Detroit Lions, 3-1. Everyone had them as favorites coming in. High-powered offense. They're going to do their thing. No issues with them. They deserve to be where they are. Houston Texans, I hate to say it, but they're looking like one of the better teams in the league. They are 4-1. Stroud is looking outstanding, like he's probably one of the best QBs in the league. I hate saying it. I hate it altogether. It is what it is. They jumped from number 8 to number 3. They deserve it. So let's just move on. I don't want to talk about the Texans. I hate the Texans. Vikings, number 5. Sam Darnold has resurrected his career. This man turned his career around as a Viking. I don't know if it's their system. I don't know if he just grew as a player. I'm not sure what it is, but they are looking good. He's looking good. They are undefeated, 5-0, Sam Darnold. Now, we'll see how their schedule continues to roll out, see how they continue to play, but so far, 5-0, looking good. And of course, number 1, they can't lose. The refs are for them. The Kelsey, the fans, the Taylor Swiftie fans, everybody's for them. The refs are for them. They're not losing. They'll probably win every game. It's so hard to beat the Chiefs because you're not just versing them. Everyone knows it. I'm not just saying it. You're not just versing them. You're versing the entire NFL organization. The refs, everybody, the owners, they want the Chiefs to win. But that wraps it up for today's episode. That's all I got. Hey, you let me know how you feel about the Titans being ranked way down there in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tighten up, baby.